Are
Yeah.
we on the It Gets Better I Swear podcast on Twitch TV / Merc
Yes.
with the Mic? Is that what we're doing right now?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
All right. So, welcome all to the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. This is your host, Louis Beans. This is, let me not forget, Merc with the Mic.
Yeah, buddy. And me working the mic.
We are here with our podcast about anything and everything in the world of pop culture and beyond. This week,
Yes.
mostly gaming information as Tokyo Game Show just happened.
And me being
And
angry about football.
oh yeah, now the Giants are getting their asses kicked. Buffalo Bills apparently are poison to New York teams that aren't
They're
them.
the actual New York team.
They're like, don't you forget about us.
they're technically the actual real New York team. They're actually in New York, and the other two are playing Jersey.
Yeah, see, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is. Did did New York itself ever have an area that had a stadium?
The Giants played in the Polo Grounds up in Harlem
Oh
a
yes, back in
long time
before the
ago.
Polo Grounds was there. You're
And
right.
then the Jets played in Shea Stadium.
Got you. Got
So
what?
they were in New York.
Whoa. Let me ask you this: how long ago was it like that? Because I know about the Polo Grounds, but I don't remember about the Shea
Late
Stadium.
70s, early 70s.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And then they moved to Jersey.
Gotcha. Well, this is what happens when you're not authentic. Mm.
Yep.
Turns out, why is it the Brooklyn Nets are more New York team than the New York football team? That's messed up.
Yeah. But you know what? As for Giants fans, they actually at least have championships.
At least they win games, not like the Jets.
Well, the Jets got one championship. It's one of the first championships in
Jeez.
NFL history. But I'm a Jets fan, so
Hey, we did it.
I hope.
We ain't gotta do it no more.
I have
That's
hope.
that's what that is. They did
Yeah.
it once.
That's
Can't
like
do it no more.
that's like the New York Knicks. Like, hey, we won one in the '60s though. Yay!
Shout outs to the Undertaker for getting his jersey. You saw that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's cool.
I wonder why they gave him Patrick Ewing though. They gave him 33.
That was his number
No.
in college.
34 was Ewing. 33,
No,
I think
33
was
was
Oakley.
Ewing.
Oh, 34 was Oakley. My bad.
Yeah, 33 was Ewing. That was his number in college. I mean, he played college ball was 33,
Interesting. I did not know that.
and he's Undertaker. So what Patrick Ewing gonna do?
He's gonna be upset because he ain't got no rings. That's
Yeah,
what he's gonna do.
Undertaker.
And his
got-
knees are bad.
Exactly. Undertaker still beat his ass.
They probably just gonna talk shit about how, man, it sucks being tall.
Yeah.
'Cause my knees, they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't know where they went. Somewhere under the hoop.
No, he got fat too, so that's where his knees went.
Oh, Patrick Ewing was done before he even left, dude.
Yeah.
He used to play games with his knees iced the fuck up.
Yeah, that's like the old
It was
school
painful
center.
to watch.
Old school centers always had like ice on their knees.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like twigs.
No, well, he was a big dude, but just like
Their
when you
legs
see
looked
your
like
man,
twigs.
when that's the man you got to depend on,
Yeah.
and his knees are already wrapped game one, you like, oh my god, how we gonna make it to game game four, let alone game 7, because you know
Yeah.
Jordan ain't gonna let us take it.
Jordan greedy.
So, oh my goodness, shout out to the old school Knicks, the '90s Knicks. Y'all ain't win no championships, but it's all right.
Yeah. Brooklyn looks like it's having more of a promise this season this year.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know you should check out
What's that?
Peter Moore did a interview about the 20th anniversary of Dreamcast.
And isn't he like
All right, Peter
the
Moore
head of
was
EA or one of the heads?
right now he's the head of EA Sports. He was the head of Xbox,
Mm-hmm. I
the
remember.
original
He used to
Xbox,
be the head of. Wasn't he like the head of
and
No,
Dreamcast.
that was. It was yeah, oh,
and he was the head
really?
of Dreamcast. Yeah.
Wasn't he with? No, I just remember the only thing I can really remember about Peter Moore is the GTA tattoo. Remember that from
Not,
E3 when
he
he
had
pulled
the
up the
Halo.
sleeve? No, but he did one for GTA
Yeah.
when GTA 4
Okay.
came out. He had the note, the Roman numeral 4
Yeah.
on his arm for GTA when they announced
On the 360.
GTA 4 is coming to the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. He did
Shit.
Halo as well. He did Halo too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, P Moore. He was the one that was behind. He was one of the main dudes on Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he talks about like how
Which just had its anniversary last
yeah,
week,
20 years,
99.99.
20 years old, and that's still one of my favorite systems of all
Did
time.
you know? I heard shout out to VGA, Video Game Apocalypse,
Yeah.
on the podcast I listened to. I Because of them, I realized that the Dreamcast lifespan was literally only a year and a half. So all that amazing time I had playing a
Yeah.
Dreamcast, that system was already dead.
Yeah, because they gave up once the PS2 started like getting some momentum, because it was the top selling system for the first 2 years while the PS2 was out, like the first year anyway. It
It
had
got
better
killed by
games.
bootlegs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it got murdered by
I
bootlegs.
can't I can't I can't deny. Like I was one of the people that's got a
Yeah,
lot of the
I mean,
bootlegs.
listen, Chinatown, New York's Chinatown back in the day was a spot to go if you wanted some cheap Dreamcast games. five
And
dollars.
I had a buddy that worked in the one in Mott Street. I knew him
That
from
sounds
high
about right.
school, and he used to give me games for like $2.
So that sounds about
So
right.
I used to leave there with 20 games. I didn't even know what the fucking games were. I got fucking Pepsi Man like 3 times. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I was gonna play it. I got like you remember Thrill Kill? I got that randomly. He used to just give me random games. He's like, yo, try this out, and try this out. Like, all right. Like, yeah, I
Did it
can
ever?
pay.
Did you ever? Did it work? Because you had the chip, or
I had one. I got my
I mean, thrill kill, thrill kill.
so when I got my Dreamcast.
No, no, thrill kill. Because that was
Yeah,
on Dreamcast.
I had my PlayStation modded. Yeah,
No, I'm talking about thrill kill specifically. That wasn't on.
it was
That was
PlayStation.
a PS. That's a PlayStation game.
Yeah, I had my system mod, but also when I bought the Dreamcast, I bought it from him. I bought the systems from him, and he gave me it with the chip and the boot disc.
Did you get to
So
try? Did you get
I
to
tried.
try it?
Yeah,
Do you remember it? Because that game was interesting.
it was weird.
Do you remember the midget
Yeah,
that was like two halves,
yeah,
but they were both the top half together at the torso,
yeah.
and that character specifically, they had a Ken and Ryu alternate costume where one half was Ken and one half was Ryu. That was so disturbing.
That game. You know what was funny is that was the Wu Tang and fight
That they
engine.
turned it into it, yeah, to
Yeah,
salvage it, which was a weird decision.
it was a weird decision, but yeah, there was a lot of crazy times. But yeah, the Dreamcast, yeah, you could just blame Chinatown itself for the demise of the Dreamcast because the bootleg.
Woo. Yeah, man, it was so easy.
Yo, everyone
Although the
had 'em.
online games didn't work,
Nah,
I tried because they were tied to like an ID for each
yeah,
game. So I had a bootleg copy of PSO. Couldn't play that, so I
yeah,
had to get the real one.
yeah.
And I loved that game every day until the
That was
second one came out.
that was the first like really working online system on a system.
The first one with mass appeal, because if
Yeah,
you dig
that actually
into
worked.
no, if you dig into what's the one for Super Nintendo and
It
Genesis?
sucked. Like that one actually worked. Like the one for
It
Super
had
Nintendo was terrible.
it had the
The net gauge.
damn, no, not that
No,
one.
gauge.
X,
Fuck. It
X
was.
something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
XSplit
about. That you
it
put
was?
you put the phone
X
cord
band.
inside the
X band.
X-Men. You put the phone cord in the damn cartridge, and you put the cartridge on top.
It
It was terrible.
it had specific applications, but the best thing for it was to download the games, which I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that really was like worth it. Apparently, if you look into the history of it now, there's people who have made like homebrew servers for that shit, and I guess they're still actually out there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just like dudes still out there playing like NBA Jam online or something like that. Like
Yeah.
what?
But
That's
like
weird.
in the main stage, like that was the first like full online capabilities and stuff like that to play online like football with each other, things like that.
Ahead of its time.
And
Yes.
it was Microsoft that did the online service.
It was built on a Microsoft system.
It was yeah.
Windows ME.
Yeah.
That's Millennium is what it was called.
It was honestly I say it was probably the origin of the Xbox. What later will become the Xbox
Well,
down the road, because
there's
they
rumors
kind of
about
took the
it.
same. They kind of took everything the Dreamcast did and just put it higher.
There was, if you
And
I don't know if you remember.
Peter
I don't
Moore
know
was
if you
behind
remember.
it too.
I don't know if you remember G4 Tech TV.
Yeah, I remember.
They had the story of the Dreamcast on there, and they had the U.S. head of Sega at the time, and he divulged a lot of stuff. And I think during that interview, they also, well, he had given some information about Microsoft was very interested in working with them, and that the one thing that for sure influenced the Xbox, besides the online, was the controller.
Yeah,
That's why it has legacy buttons. The color
yeah,
scheme of the Dreamcast buttons kind of lives on with the Xbox controller.
yeah. It still does. Yeah,
It is kind of like Xbox was very smart not to jump on the ship
yeah,
because they knew that shit was going down. I don't know. I don't care what you tell me. Xbox knew. They were like, yeah, we want to learn from
yeah,
you, but we don't want to work with you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because that system lasted a year
yeah.
strong, and the other half of the year was just slowly fading and
I
dying
think they
out in the
just
wake
gave
of
up. They gave
PS2.
up way too early on it.
I do not believe it. They had no way to patch that out. That system was dead. All that
Yeah,
bootlegging killed it. It's unbelievable how bad that was. Like you can't sell software when nobody wants to buy your software.
that's true.
Like the system was discounted to like mad cheap. You could buy a Dreamcast towards the end for like $100
Yeah.
easy. But
But
like,
crazy thing
dude,
is, there's still games coming out for it. People are still developing games for Dreamcast. If you go to like
yeah,
Video Games
Japan
New
was
York,
crazy, dude.
if you go
Yeah,
to Video Games New York, they have like brand new games for Dreamcast that like small developers have made.
I
So
think the last one was like last year. There was like
yeah,
there was a shooter that came out of Japan,
yeah,
which I heard like that's one of the things, because of the board. It was
yeah,
actually made on something called Naomi hardware, which was no, the reason it has so many very accurate fighting game ports is because the hardware was essentially one to one with what they were using in the arcades.
yeah,
So Marvel 2, Virtual Fighter game, like I think only that's the interesting thing. I think I only had one Virtual Fighter game,
yeah,
but everything else that was on there, like what's that? Project Justice,
yeah.
um, Third Strike. Even though apparently it's a bad port, a Third Strike, if you ask some people, but that's why it has such accurate ports. Mark of the Wolves,
Yeah.
Last Blade 2, like a lot of super accurate games. So
The Darkstalkers. I remember being on there. The Darkstalkers 3, I think.
I never saw it.
And then I remember Power Stone being down there. You had like the perfect like home console version of like House of the Dead, and you had
That's
you had a lot of crazy shit with
and
that
then not to
system.
forget, not
Crazy Taxi.
I was to say yes, and then don't forget all the weird games like
Yeah.
Typing of the Dead, Space Channel 5,
Seaman.
Choo Choo Rock, Seaman, yeah, with the voice of Leonard Nimoy as the narrator.
Yeah.
He will
I
forever
actually
be
liked the
immortalized
Space
in that
Channel
game.
5.
Yeah, but that was a weird ass game,
Yeah, it
and it
was.
also has Michael Jackson in it. So
Yeah,
some
part
people
two.
will not play it.
Part 2 had Michael Jackson in it.
Shoot, shoot, shoot. So,
Yeah.
uh, it was and Samba de Amigo was another one.
Yeah.
Not a conventional game,
Yeah, I had Ponko. No, I had the maracas.
and apparently they're very expensive still. Like
Yeah,
I
they
heard they
are.
weren't cheap,
Yeah.
which is like that's cool, but damn, that sucks because as a collector, it sucks to pay hundreds of dollars for some maracas.
Yep. 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 That's
Shit.
why I cut my collecting in certain things.
Hmm.
When it comes to like video games and stuff like that, I kind of like went I kind of cut my collecting of games down a lot because it's ridiculous. Like just how much money a lot of these things are. Like I'm still looking for a Turtles Hyperstorm Heights, and I
Hmm.
would not get it cheaper than like $65. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $65 for a used game.
This is true.
I'm like, yo, unless it's like mint on fucking in case with plastic that has never been sealed, then I'll pay $65, bro. I'm not paying $65 for a game that's
Open
out the
game,
case that
loose cart.
you probably fucked around with it. Probably has your kid's name on it or your name when you were a kid on it, and yeah, I'm not spending.
It's
that much
probably
money.
falling downstairs,
Yeah.
been stepped on. Yeah.
Because I have every other Turtles game. That's the only one I'm really missing is that one. That's the only one. See, the games I collect like for the retro wise is games from my childhood. The games that I remember having such a connection to, and Turtles in Time, Turtles Hyperstorm Heights, Manhattan Projects, the Turtles Arcade 2, Turtles 1 even, because I played it, I finished it, fucking hard as shit, but I finished those. But those are the games that are connected to my life, like especially with Ninja Turtles wise, because I'm such a huge Turtle fan as well. So
Mm-hmm.
Hyperstorm Heights, I want a complete game. I want the case and everything because I just want it for my collection. Because I have the box for Turtles in Time. I have the box for Tournament Fighter. I have the boxes for the NES 2 and Manhattan Projects. I paid maybe $30, $25, or I found loose boxes. Like this guy had a rubber band full of boxes, and he was selling boxes. Like he made them, but they looked just like the real ones, and I didn't give a fuck because I was like, oh, it looks cool anyway. It looks nice in my collection. That's
Yeah.
why I buy it. Yeah.
Did he make one for Hyperstone Heist or no?
No, because remember, Hyperstone Heist, the Genesis games were in the hard case.
Oh, so you mean he was making Super Nintendo
Yeah,
NES box?
yeah, the cardboard
Cardboard.
ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, he could have made the later Genesis boxes because
Yeah.
Genesis had some games that came in that. You remember X-Men? It had like a sleeve.
Yeah, it came in the cardboard boxes because they stopped using the plastic ones. But Hyperstone Heights came out during the time when it was the hard case.
Yeah. It was still a black case game. I remember.
Yep.
Still, it gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
It's missing a stage, but they changed it. Nostalgia's a hell of a thing. That game played fine.
No,
like people say that the other game is superior because they want to pick a side.
So,
seriously, either one of those games is fine.
So I played both of them. I actually played them both recently.
Mm-hmm.
Graphic and sound wise, Sega has the upper hand.
Really?
I think Sega looked better. Like the colors were more vibrant and the sound quality was a lot better. The only thing that the Sega didn't have was the detail on stages like the Super Nintendo one had. The Super Nintendo one had like it went into time and shit. I mean, this one did not. They just went. It was in the cities and shit like that. They went in the sewers, and you fought a lot of the same villains, and that was the problem with the Hyperstone Heights one. The Turtles in Time, you had more variety of villains.
You don't get that cool stage with Krang, right?
No.
Where you're riding on the hoverboard and stuff.
No.
Yeah, that's like the one picture in my head from Turtles in Time that I just remember, like because I never owned the actual cartridge. I played it on an emulator.
Yeah.
Like way later.
Yeah.
But I always remember there was a picture in game magazines, and it showed Krang floating in the air on like that futuristic highway.
Yeah.
I always thought it was cool. So yeah. There's minor differences, but seriously, it's not that bad. It's not like the bad version of the remake. Have you ever played the remake of
Turtles in Time?
Yeah, the remake of Turtles in Time,
Yeah.
the Ubisoft.
Yeah, I have it.
It's off.
It's really off, and it just feels weird.
Lag. It has like button lag, and
Yeah.
that was one thing I noticed. Okay. I figured that out because that game had a huge release because they made like press releases about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was for the anniversary.
And it was for the movie. It was during
for the movie.
Yeah,
okay.
It was during the movie.
All right, so they were making a big ass deal.
Yeah.
And I remember Ubi put out this is almost unheard of for just a straight up digital game.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe not back then because I think
actually,
about 360s.
No, it was during the summer of the Xbox Summer of Arcade. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mad Games had demos, and that game had a demo. I played that demo, and I pressed a button to attack, and I noticed button lag in a 2D action game. I'm like, no, can't do it.
So it did. So the year before that, the original arcade game came out, and it was
fun.
It was part of the Xbox Summer Arcade, and then they did a Summer Arcade Part 2, and they added that into it.
Like that first one was fine. I have it. I can still play it now.
Yeah,
it's good.
The first one was great. Like again, it was the original part of the arcade, but we never actually got the original part because we got the NES game. So if we actually look at the arcade and then go into the NES game, it's like the fuck?
Well,
It was still fun.
I
Like I still enjoyed the hell out of it, but like
but
going
I
to the I want the arcade game. I don't want
yeah,
that.
you don't want the NES game.
But
I
the
agree
NES
with I would
one,
agree with you
yeah,
that it's mystifying to a lot of people to split, but by the time that came out, MAME was already a thing.
yeah,
And most arcade games, like a lot of people play through MAME. Like
yeah,
after I want to say after the PS2 era was when
yeah,
MAME started to thrive.
yeah,
And having been on the at the ground floor of that community when it got like really started and whatnot,
yeah,
like I realized that's because there were so many games like that version of the Ninja Turtles, the arcade version of Turtles in Time, the arcade version of Alien versus Predator by Capcom,
yeah,
the Shadows over Mystara, which was Dungeons and Dragons. Like, there's a lot of those games that were arcade only that either they came out on a system in Japan, like I hear there was a Japanese version of one of the Dungeons and Dragons games, but I'm not sure which one. But fuck that, I'm not buying a Saturn to play that shit.
yeah,
So I'm playing it on Main,
yeah,
and that was before they got the internet working very well. But like, that was one of the top games.
yeah,
That and Turtles in Time
yeah,
were like, yeah, like one of the ones like if anybody ever gave you a pack and say, hey, try MAME, those two games almost 100% were on there, which was
yeah,
cool. So like I can see what you mean, and also having that very vivid experience in my mind from having played them in MAME. Yeah, I could definitely say it again. That Ubisoft version of the game was bad,
yeah. It was.
bad, bad.
And it was crazy is the fact that it was a port of the actual arcade too.
Mm-hmm,
So it didn't have Slash, it didn't have Bebop and Rocksteady,
mm-hmm.
it didn't have like the extra characters that the SNES one had. The SNES one had the bonus characters. Even
Yep,
arcade didn't have them.
yep,
Even like the Hyperstone Heights had Tatu, and the other ones didn't have.
yes. One of them added. Didn't is Super Shredder always in that game?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the boss of both games.
No, one of them had like. Didn't one of them have an extra fight with Shredder? I think the Hyperstone Heights has an extra phase. Like the first part of that is an extra fight with Shredder. I'm not sure.
Nah, Charles in Time does. They have the one that
Oh,
he's
okay, okay.
in the robot, and
Got you,
you gotta
got
throw
you.
people at him, and then he have a fight with
Yeah.
him as a small Shredder, and then you fight him as the big Super Shredder.
Okay, so that's the one.
Yeah,
Yes, got you.
yeah.
Yep.
Good old
So,
Turtle games. I love Turtle games.
hmm shout
Anyway,
out to the arcade. The
um,
arcade. We missed the arcade games.
yeah, yeah.
They
Arcade
can
was
come
years.
back as barcades, but they're also. Have you been to any of the pinball arcade? Well, you said there's one
Right
that's
across
close
the street
by,
from my
right?
house.
Yeah.
It's literally like right across the street from my house. I just never been into it.
Okay. Okay.
But
Because I'm getting more interested listening to the podcast in New York talk about like, yeah, they're not bad, and hearing how many people I didn't know have a real positive affinity for pinball machines.
yeah,
Like I just wouldn't think it nowadays, you know?
Jericho owns like a bunch of them.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a big Kiss fan, so he has the
Oh, that's
Kiss
a kid's
pinball
pinball
machine.
machine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I never got really like big into pinball. I think it's before my time. And a lot of people were like a little older than me or more pinball because that was their thing. But I never got into it. I could play them. I have fun playing them. I remember when the fucking for Windows 98 came out and they had that pinball machine, the pinball game. I always played it all the damn time. Other than
Oh,
that,
okay.
like I never got into pinball like that.
You know, the interesting place there's two places I got into pinball. Coney Island, because
Okay.
they had pinball machines, and I really got into like the Terminator 2 machine at Chinatown Fair
Yeah. Okay.
because they had that. I think they had Adams Family and one other one that was like really commercial,
Yeah.
and something about it, just like those really big, like the ones that have all the bells and whistles, the ones that have the screen that tells you to look out for this,
Yeah.
and or has voices and said thing. Like I think it did say I'll be back and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty silly, and I liked it.
I
But
remember going to the video game con like not last year, the year before. They had that was in the original place, and they
mhm.
had like half the room was full of pinball machines. They had the Simpsons pinball. And that's the one I played.
I
And you hear
never
all
played.
"Ay caramba," you hear all those
Damn.
words and shit like that. It's actually really cool.
Okay, I
Maybe
never
next
played.
year we all go to that convention because I actually like that convention. It's small, it's nice, it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to do things. There's a lot of free games to play.
Okay.
It's a good art. It's a good con. It's a good
Oh,
con.
that sounds like a
I
fun.
missed it this year because
You remember what it's called?
video game con.
Oh, just okay.
It's
Nice,
called
nice and
a video
simple.
game con. Yeah, it's usually in Jersey. Last time they did it in the Meadowlands convention center, which wasn't that great because it didn't have as many arcades as it usually has. But it
Mhm.
went back to the old location in which they usually have a gymnasium full of arcades and pinball machines. Then they have another room that's a gym that's full of like console systems all connected and also like tournament gaming and all that stuff. And then they have the retail people and shit like that too.
Oh wow, nice. That's actually
So it's
awesome.
it's a nice con. It's a nice small con. It has a lot of people that go there. I know a couple of the cosplayers that go there, like Luna Star. I knew her for a while. She legit there because she's a Jersey chick and stuff like that. And a couple of people
Mm-hmm.
I've seen in cons before. They legit are there. Jenkins, and Julio went to the first one that they did a couple of years back,
Okay.
and it was nice. It was a nice con. Definitely recommend it. It's usually September, like the second week of September. Usually that's usually where they aim for, and
Mm-hmm.
it's every year. They've been doing it every year since.
Nice. Good stuff. That's good to hear.
So, what's up with the Tokyo Game Con?
Uh, yeah, the TGS Tokyo
TGS.
Game Show, which is a gigantic, um, kind of like an E3 for Japan.
Yeah.
It's where Japan goes to basically demo uh, most of the upcoming games, show a bunch of trailers off. Uh, I know you showed me the Ring Fit Adventure
Yeah.
for the Nintendo Switch, which is their new fitness thing they're coming out with.
Yeah.
That looks hilarious, but I guess it works, right? You strap
Yeah.
some Joy-Cons to you and hold
You
those
know,
big plastic.
Nintendo's always take risk when it comes to like the fitness things. And this is not the first time they've done it, and it was a success because even that balance board was successful in a way.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Unfortunately, the thing they made for I think it was the second thing they made for the Wii, the monitor
yeah,
that didn't take off.
yeah.
But I think it did spawn a whole way of thinking where with the Fitbits and whatnot because that was before all the tracking fitness equipment was a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So who knows?
Who knows? But
I don't know.
Nintendo's trying to get the casual fans now. They got the hardcore gamers because they bring in Zeldas, they bring in Smash Brothers, they bring in all the other things and all the other ports that they bring in. So you're bringing your hardcore gamers back, and now you're looking for the casual fans, like people that will buy the paraphernalia, the paraphernalia the watch. They're gonna do like a hula hoop game.
That is too small to put around a human being.
Well, they're gonna do another one. They're gonna make a bigger one, and you're gonna hula hoop.
That you put around a baby. Because a grown
Put it on
woman
your
cannot,
forehead.
or a grown man cannot put that around their waist. I see it. That
Yeah.
lady's like, I am driving, but I am not. I'm actually
Yeah.
steering this one-eyed monster. What is
Yeah.
this game?
But Nintendo always does shit like that. Look at the cardboard thing they did like a couple years ago.
Oh, Labo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was a thing.
it's a thing. It's
was
not
a
a
thing.
popular thing, but it's a thing. It's there.
It's a thing. It was overpriced cardboard. It was a nice idea, but in execution, it was actually like,
Man.
this is kind of uh, price to reward,
Yeah.
I feel. Because that was like $60 for a lot of that, for like a set of that.
Yeah.
And then it was more to get the entire kit together. And it's just like, who realistically is going to do this?
Man,
And
Nintendo
are
got a
they
bunch
going
of
to
ass.
support it? That's the
Man, Nintendo got a bunch of motherfuckers. A bunch of cardboard.
I'm just saying, the thing I feel bad about is when you buy
Yeah.
something like that for a year and they never support it.
No. They had a couple of games. They have little things that you can add on. They added like the thing to play Mario Kart with it and things like that. But yeah, no one's gonna put the freaking cardboard thing on their freaking head to use it as a VR.
Yeah.
No one.
It's
No.
it's nice for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
not for a $60 purchase.
No,
and
it's
to
not.
be every day.
But if you have
Or
a
every
screaming kid in your back ear wanting it, then you're like, okay, whatever.
yeah, until they rip because it's cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
Um,
cardboard.
there's a lot of things that, well, not really a lot. There are a few big things that I got out of the Tokyo Game Show this year.
Yeah.
Um, I was most impressed by the continuing gameplay that they showed of Final Fantasy VII Remake. The big news is that they announced that classic mode, which is the old school Final Fantasy, where the ATB gauge actually matters a lot more.
Okay.
Whereas you wait your turn, you strategically pick out who does what, and it plays more like a classic RPG. Um, but they show, I don't know what tech they're using, and this makes me scared for the anybody that has a base PS4 like me, because there's games like Control that are pushing the envelope of what these systems can do,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, the developers of certain games like that are kind of losing sight of, hey man, there's a user base that's like 80 million strong. More than two-thirds of those are base units. What are you doing?
Stop your shit.
Why are you making these games that don't run on these systems
Yeah.
before it's dead? It's not dead yet. So I'm kind of scared of how that's going to run, because if you want to be amazed, look at the presentation and watch when the guy, when the, I think he's the producer. Um, is it the producer or the director of the series? Watch when he enters active time mode, and you look at the characters, everything is still moving, and it's slowed down to like, I don't know, not even a fourth, maybe like 1/8
Yeah.
speed, and you see the bullet come out of Barrett's gun in slow motion, and then you see the bullet hit the enemy, and it's like, oh my god, this is beautiful. I cannot believe this is a real video game in motion.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder how it's going to run. And I think that's probably why they're doing it in chunks. There's probably no way they can make a full game with all the chapters
Yeah.
at one time. Like, again, I have to stress, Final Fantasy 15 was 100 gigs.
Yeah.
After all the, it was 100 and something gigs. That's ridiculous. And this is an evolution on that engine. You can see where it takes inspiration, where you can run around and the way the combat flows when you use the active mode.
Yeah.
It's like Final Fantasy 15, except a little it looks chunkier. And what I mean by chunkier is it feels like everything has a little bit more weight to it,
Yeah.
which is good. That gives it that action RPG feel, which will keep people interested. Not to mention that the games doesn't seem to be hand-holdy. Like, they show the demo boss, and it's the first boss in the game, and it looks like people are going to be complaining,
Yeah.
because the way it looks is that you have to use your brain. Sorry to say it, but in 2019, games that make you use your brain usually get bitched about, because the muscle where you have to strategize seems to have been lost.
Yeah.
And I can tell people are going to be like, is Final Fantasy VII the new Dark Souls? I can just see it. People are going to cry, and they're going to say, oh my God, this game is so hard without using the slow-mo.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to see people, probably Japanese players, doing all types of super complex stuff, because also within this demo, you get the sense that there is so much more that they cannot show you yet, because it would blow your fucking head off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serious. This seems like, because they let you not only control Cloud in this highly detailed, game, they let you control, well, for the demo purposes, they let you control Barrett. And what I'll get to later is they actually show you Tifa and Aris fighting. It looks amazing, and they all play differently.
Yeah.
So what I know the game is gonna do is force you to use the strengths and weaknesses differently according to the battle.
Yeah.
Cloud is a big melee guy. They said he gets his ATB gauge filled faster because he uses close-up attacks, which means it's the more times you hit the enemy, also the faster your gauge goes up. So Cloud and Tifa are going to be like acting like this, every few seconds, because they need to do their melee.
Yeah.
Then whereas characters like Barrett their gauge fills up slower, so they do special moves and attacks slower because they're further away using his bullets from his chain gun, his arm gun. And Aerith, when they show her, she does this really cool like not acrobatic. It's like dancing. She
Yeah.
literally is dancing with her staff and throwing like magic out, and then she converts that into like different types of explosions, or she can do her limit break, which lets her do the familiar like team heals, resurrection, status prevention, and all that stuff that for her class, which is basically a white mage slash summoner.
Yeah.
um so I know right off the bat that the game is not what it used to be. Not to be quite frank, Final Fantasy VII was easy because they made the game in a way where you could really focus on certain things and take people out with any character. You can make every character do every job. So that's how that works out. And this one is like they're carving specific niches for each character. Um, so that might be a real problem for people. But all in all, it looks beautiful.
Cool.
That music is a thing of beauty. They went back and I said they took the songs that they had before and they really went in. They really went out of their way to not replace the old music. They went back and like I guess you want to say remastered it, but again, it's like they took the old songs and they figured let's update it, not get rid of it, not change everything. Like you can hear so much familiar music, even when they're standing and explaining things and not moving, and you hear the music creep in. It's like, oh, I remember that. That's so good. Like this is gonna be so on so many people's Game of the Year list when it comes out. I I know they're gonna support it. It even has a menu that says DLC in the game, so there's that. But Jesus Christ, that second boss fight that they show, where you fight the monster in the sewers with Aerith and Tifa, and they summon Ifrit, dude, that shit blew. If you had socks on, they got blown off. You know what I'm saying? But you get to see Ifrit be summoned, actually come out, and they show that it's not going to be like Final Fantasy VII summons, which was you expend magic, the summon does a move, that's it. In this one, I guess a gauge builds up, and then you summon the particular summon. In this case, it was Ifrit, and they are acting like they do. I don't know about 15. I didn't get to the summons in that game, so I'm not familiar with that. So it might be the same. But when you see that he has a health bar, he has moves to pick from, I guess you can just let him do what he wants, and then he builds up a gauge to get his limit break, which is like a giant attack, which everybody used to from a summon. You summon them, they do a giant attack, they peace out. This one actually has the summon as a member of the team, which very much reminds me of Final Fantasy X. And it's like, oh man, this is turning into a love letter of all the things about Final Fantasies that I liked. So I am extremely happy to see it. Cool. So I encourage anybody to look at the GameSpot Japanese coverage that they have, with this super excited young girl with blue pigtails, just geeking out over everything. Like it's not in English, but they do have a version that is narrated by one of the ladies that she's giving her overview in English, also on GameSpot. So look for that. It's amazing. Really good shit. I can't wait. I know it's only one chapter, but they show they're hitting the notes. They have the part where you dress up Cloud as a woman to get into the golden saucer. They have the part where you have to beat the dude to get the squats. I mean, beat the dude by doing squats to get the pieces for the outfit. Yeah. And they show the squat mini game, and it has this awesome remix of the fight music. It's just like, Jesus, they spared no expense. Like the original game, it wasn't a grand affair. It was just a little thing you press buttons in time, and if you won, you won. You got the little item. This one, it's like a damn straight up, like it reminds me of Yakuza.
Yeah.
It really, like I'm telling you, watch the footage. You'll start instantly you'll think about it because you'll see the
Okay.
dude and they put personality, and the guy you're playing against, he falls on his ass while doing the squats. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like all in all, they're putting. Not only are they using the budget because it looks amazing, not only are they going for the music because it sounds amazing, not only are they putting the character touches that the game had, which is what people don't understand why people like the game. Yes, it was blocky little characters, but Final Fantasy VII has so many little quirks to it with the
Yeah.
characters, and I mean not just the playable characters on your team, just the world you interacted with was full of very varied and sometimes weird and eccentric people,
Yeah.
and it looks like they have not forgotten that, and that's what has me excited. Not just that it looks good. I don't really care that it looks good because I remember the PC mods of Seven a few years ago, and they made it look essentially like a little less, uh, maybe about the same fidelity as the PSP game.
Okay.
Because remember, it was a remake of an old game, so people basically up-resed it for HD, and they changed the models a little differently. But it reminded me of the Final Fantasy Crisis Core, the way it
Okay.
looked. So the graphics isn't the thing that's selling me. It's the fact that they went all in with the little details. That's why I like it. That's what I'm looking forward to. Now,
Cool.
if it feels good to control, that's the last thing to figure out, once you get it in your hands. But
Yeah.
so far, I'm excited.
That's
Super excited.
still set for January, right?
No, March 3rd,
March 3rd.
2020.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. I know after that trailer, I know a little someone named Steven that was extremely happy. That's
Yeah,
all
they
he
did
plays.
also in the trailer. Yes.
Yeah, because that's all he plays. He plays Jap RPGs. That's all he plays. So
Yes.
I know he's extremely excited for it.
hmm So
You showed me the trailer for Guilty Gear. That was pretty dope.
yes, that's another thing. Well, Scott Steiner has different ideas.
Scott Steiner,
Um,
you haven't mentioned him, so he's a little angry. He's
he
part
just
of
can't help it.
that. He's part of the Final Fantasy VII.
He is.
He's the
an
fantasy.
attention whore.
He's the fantasy part of Final Fantasy.
Did you see these arms? These arms will make any one of these skinny pencil neck geeks jealous. And Aerith, she wants to be with me because I'm a freak. I'm a
Big
genetic
bad
freak.
booty daddy.
You want to see me take down Sephiroth? Look at the largest arms in professional wrestling.
Yo, we need Scott Steiner to star in stuff.
Yeah. Before he's gone.
Just
yeah.
with his sound, just with sound clips from him of
Mhm.
his random.
I would love to see
matches.
Scott Steiner versus Sephiroth.
There
Just
you go.
talking shit.
There you go.
Scott Steiner versus
piss him
Goku. Goku? What the fuck is a Goku? I'll show you these arms, and I'll tell. What's it? I'll make Chi-Chi come home with a real man. Like, all right.
The big
Jesus.
booty daddy.
That's what he is. Don't forget it.
He won't. He will make sure you don't.
Won't let anybody else forget it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Yes.
About Guilty Gear,
Yeah. It looks
can't
pretty
wait.
sick.
They confirmed May. She has a brand new design.
Yeah.
I don't know what the game is called. If it's Guilty Gear
It's Guilty Gear.
3, Guilty
it's just Guilty
Gear
Gear.
Third 2. I don't.
No,
It
just
doesn't
Guilty
have
Gear.
enough. Yeah, it just says Guilty Gear.
Yeah, it's just Guilty Gear.
For now, it doesn't have a subtitle, which I wonder if it's a reboot. It doesn't look like it because they look like the evolutions of the characters from Excerpt.
Yeah.
Like Kai still looks like the King Kai, but he has a different outfit. He's changed up a bit. Soul still looks like the same big burly Soul they use in the Excerpt game. So it seems like this is somehow a continuation. There has not been story trailers, so I don't know what's going on with the story. But mechanics wise, it looks like they're expanding on what they put in. They put in what they put in the last time. The wall bounce system. There's a system with where you clash and it sparks like this emergency thing where whoever gets the next hit gets guaranteed criticals, and you could just kill people. Like there's some really in-depth stuff in there. They show like straight stage transitions during combat, which looks pretty cool. So you got a little bit of that Injustice, that Dragon Ball flair that they did. Because remember, this is Arc System Works,
Yep.
and they are the ones responsible for Dragon Ball Fighters, at least
Yep.
graphically. I don't know how much of the technical side came from them, like who was the ones doing the engine, like fighting wise. But I know they are responsible for how that game looks, and it is gorgeous.
Shit, that looks gorgeous on the Switch, and they cut down a lot of things on the Switch.
Yes. So they have mastered what they want to do with their art style. And again, you saw it. This
Yeah.
is an evolution of the last game style, which essentially is like one came before. So XR came before Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
which was one evolution of their style. Because before this, Guilty Gear did not look like that.
Yeah.
It did
That's true.
not look like a living cartoon. It was good looking. It had very good sprite work, and even Guilty Gear 2, it had a stylistic thing going for it,
Yeah.
but it was not this.
Yeah.
Then they went to Dragon Ball Fighters, and that is where they, I want to say that's where they perfected their craft, because that game looks like an anime.
Yeah. It looks
Like
just like right out the TV.
it just everything,
You know what?
everything.
That was like the first like Dragon Ball Z game that I ever played that felt like I was playing the cartoon.
Mm. I can
Like
see
straight out
because
felt like I was playing the cartoon.
I can see that because, to be honest, Dragon Ball hasn't had the best games.
Without the commercial breaks.
I mean, not the bad Toonami.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z,
Yes. Oh
Goku
man.
will stare for another hour while charging up.
Oh man, I saw some Dragon Ball clips today, and Vegeta was getting pissed off, and I was getting uncomfortable with how long it took for him to react. It was just him. It was a thing from Dragon Ball Super. I'm not sure if you saw it. It's Beerus smacks Bulma, and
Yeah,
it's
I
in
remember that.
a rage.
Yeah.
But if you watch that clip, it's 3 minutes. Bulma got slapped maybe a minute in. It took a minute for Vegeta to stop being a trope.
Yeah.
He was literally like, oh, it still has that. That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing I don't like about
Yeah.
watching Dragon. And then just
I,
like
I,
Jesus,
I gotta cause I gotta finish that damn Super series. I was up to I was in the 60s I think, and then I just stopped paying attention, and I was going through it. I was enjoying it. I just lost track of it.
yeah, I could see it,
Yeah.
but definitely that's one of those things that it kind of it reminded me. Oh, this is why I don't really watch Dragon Ball so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, But that being said, about Arc System Works, that was the game where they refined their work. They, if you want to say, mastered it.
Yeah.
This is them exceeding beyond.
Okay.
Like that trailer for the next Guilty Gear, it just looks like an anime. It just looks like it's its own contained thing. But even when they're just standing there and it's still in quote unquote fighting game mode,
Yeah.
still looks like something I've never seen before. It's
Nah.
still amazing.
It's a beautiful game. Like
And that transition from the supers, because shout outs to Maximilian dude, if you check out his YouTube video where he went through it in English, because a lot of these games, Tokyo Game Show did not really have
it's in Tokyo.
native English speakers presenting things for us to know. You have to get it secondhand from the GameSpots, the IGNs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to get the best feel for everything, you should watch the Japanese presentations first,
yeah.
and then go back.
Get a interpretation afterwards.
No, yes, yeah. So you can basically get the facts first, and then have somebody break it down individually to you, so you know what exactly you saw when. That helps.
Yeah.
So Maximilian did a video actually breaking down both things that I just talked about: the Final Fantasy presentation, both
Yeah.
parts, and also Guilty Gear. And the cool thing was he showed frame by, because he did this for the first initial trailer. This is the second Guilty Gear trailer. He broke it down literally frame by frame. And it's funny because as he was doing this, he was mentioning this is exactly what they're doing on presentation, but I already did this for the last video.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. That's how into this the fans are. They're breaking down the game frame by frame, and it's not even out yet. Like that's how good it looks, dude.
Nice.
It's just got people baffled, mystified, like, yo, what is this magic? This game is amazing. But that being said, there's so much being put into it that wasn't there before. Like he showed footage of the first game, and that was like maybe it's 2019. I think Guilty Gear Xrd came out in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, or
Okay.
20. Because I'm forgetting because these consoles are old. they're actually starting to feel old.
Yeah.
But let me get the actual date. I don't want to. When the hell did Guilty Gear Xrd come out? Let's see.
Like 2 years ago, a year ago.
2014. See, it's
Oh
actually
wow.
older than I
Yeah.
thought.
Wow.
The expansion I think was 2 years ago. Was it? I mean,
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, because
So
Dragon Ball was like 2 years ago. Or
Dragon Ball was
last
two
year.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being said, um, sorry, let me make sure I get this information correct. So, with all that being said, from the first game to this game is almost a completely different, like, set of perspectives they're using. It's way more animation that they're using for the same things. So Bad Guy's initial super, and they do Kai his initial super, his because usually they have two supers.
Yeah.
And frame by frame, you just see the detail and the work and the camera angles they put in there, and it's just like how they came up with the idea to make 3D models look like this, where it doesn't. It kind of fucks you up because this is like it's not 2D, but it
Yeah.
looks 2D. It's like how do you give 360-degree perspective to a 2D object? They do it, and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So it's just, oh my goodness, man. TGS this year, they had a lot of things that came out, but these gems like this Guilty Gear, this Final Fantasy, uh, there was one they showed a Tales game. Like it wasn't a big deal, but like I'm a Tales fan, so
Yeah.
God, they showed some, and not even to mention the Death Stranding thing, which I admit I have not sat down and had it explained to me what I watched. I
Yeah.
needed explained because it was Norman Reedus in a room, and they showed the customization and his hat. Um, and it's so much in-depth customization, and you can kind of see where it comes from the last. I think they might be using an evolution of the last engine they used for 5.
Yeah.
So you'll get a lot of Norman Reedus sitting down because in the room he's sitting in I guess his bed. He's sitting down. He has idle animations. He turns to the camera and winks at you. He does like a not a dab, but he can turn and point at stuff on the wall behind him. He puts a hat on. And he poses and looks cool with his shades on. He could wash his face when it gets dirty. He could like stick his tongue out in the mirror in the bathroom. Like there's so much detail and just animations put in that game. Forget about the thing that he pees in the world, which is weird. And a little mushroom just shows up in the world to show other players where you peed. It's just so. What is that, Kojima? What are you doing?
It's like Braun Strowman's picking him
Oh,
and
the
he
map.
poops.
I love that.
I pooped here.
Yeah, so it's a lot of detail in that game that I
Yeah.
don't quite understand what it's about. Because again, I watched the Japanese presentation, and I'll get the information later. But like, just so much stuff that came out of TGS this year.
Yeah.
That's just like, damn, yo, Japanese game development, they still killing it, man.
Yeah.
They still killing it.
Yeah, man.
So it's good to see.
A lot of games coming. A lot of games coming.
It's supposedly the last year for these consoles. They were saying 2020 is going to be the debut of every system.
Yeah.
But
Still
dude,
nothing. Still haven't seen anything yet.
that's true.
But
Like,
the
dude,
way they're using these consoles now is like, oh shit! Like, where's it gonna go next?
exactly. And that's what has me excited about the future for the games, because I know there's going to be performance issues on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
That's a sad fact, because they're being super ambitious, dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
But I think that's where you have to be right now, especially because in the world of games that are becoming like very repetitive. Like all the creeds, they had to redo everything, and like the games like Fortnite like are more the higher points and things. You have to go outside the box now to make a game and to get a crowd off the game because I think they're getting really creative with it, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm happy to see the reins taken off of him so that we can finally see, the answer to the question: was it Konami and Metal Gear that made Kojima seem like such a genius because they kept him within their constraints?
Yeah,
And I want to see if you let him do what he wants to do unfiltered,
yeah,
how good will the game be?
yeah,
Because I'll be honest, Metal Gear Solid 5, for all of its issues that came to light in the gaming press
yeah,
about how horrible Konami was at the end of the days when he was there, how they treated him and his team,
yeah,
like all types of bad stuff that came out, right?
yeah,
And they still managed to make a game that, to me, is the best playing Metal Gear Solid. Not the best story, because it's like you could tell it was unfinished. There's pieces missing,
yeah,
but there is no Metal Gear Solid game that plays better than Metal Gear 5.
yeah,
Has so much nuance, so many details. It's gorgeous. It doesn't have gameplay hiccups either.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. So I want to know.
I'm
You know,
guilty. I own it and never played it.
you should you should. There's
Yeah,
nothing really bad about it. Like for a first time, if you don't
yeah,
have this oh my god Kojima love in you, like because that would make you not like it.
yeah.
Just
No,
to have that information in your head that they fucked him on that game,
yeah,
it made a lot of people just not like it. It was like, I this is not his true vision.
yeah,
They made him put multiplayer in that game, or some
yeah,
type of multiplayer thing that was like, this doesn't make sense.
yeah. Like,
And
oh, we
those
need to
things
make money
focused
though.
on. Hmm?
Like, we need to make money though.
That's the thing. And then you see they fucking went ahead and shit on the legacy of the game by making Metal Gear Survive,
Yeah, we don't talk
which
about that.
fortunately, and this brings me to another thing from Tokyo Game Show, the reveal of the gameplay for the new Resident Evil game, the
Yeah,
spinoff. Um, it's what is it called? Project Survive? No,
Project
Project
Resistance.
Resistance.
It
Yes,
looks like a take on Left 4 Dead kind of feel.
yes,
The four players all teaming up and whatnot. It doesn't look as pretty as Resident Evil 2. It looks like
yeah.
the
The
same
trailer, you
gameplay,
don't
but
see it,
doesn't look as pretty.
but my hope is it's actually using that engine
Yeah,
because I see Mr. X and he's literally the same model,
yeah,
but the character models of the new survivors, they do not look like in game.
yeah.
They do not look anywhere near as good as Leon or Claire looks. I can
No,
see from like screenshots now.
yeah.
They don't look as detailed.
But it looks like it's gonna be like I have a feeling it might not be like one of those $60 games to play.
I could see that.
I could see it being like an episodic kind of thing with online, kind of like a Apex in somewhat in that way.
You know what it reminds me of very much, and I haven't played these games, so I can't
Yeah,
really criticize them. Oh, Scott Sana, he doesn't want me to talk about
yeah.
Resident Evil. Um,
He likes the
it
game.
reminds me a lot of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, something like that. I could see it. Hey, you know what? If you really think about it, like, well, I see it more as a Left 4 Dead version of it because usually is all the players against Jason and one player is Jason kind of thing. This one, like, I think is going to be the four core players and is going to be like a survival kind of thing. But I think it's going to be in the way that game is presented and how it is. I think that's what's going to be Resident Evil, the new Resident Evil game is going to be.
Well, okay. To Did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah,
If you look at the end, it has the hook from Friday the 13th.
yeah.
One, it's something called asynchronous multiplayer,
Okay.
where it's four against one.
Oh,
One player is
okay.
gonna be the commander of the monsters.
Okay. So you know what? Then yeah, it's gonna be the same thing.
And so here's two things they show in the trailer. One, it's there's two enemies that you can control.
Yeah.
The rest is you set traps and you look through the cameras about what's going on in the facility, so you can stop the progress.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is where it really comes into what I say is basically Friday the 13th mode is the characters you control are going to be the aggressors to stop the progress, like Jason was.
Yeah. Okay.
So one of them you can control Mr. X, which is
Okay.
literally like, okay, well there he's the one-to-one comparison to Jason,
Yeah.
but to a lesser extent, you will control the zombies.
Yeah. So it
You
makes
you
sense.
can't choose to jump into a zombie,
Yeah.
basically.
All right, so
So
it's gonna be very similar to that. So I think the selling point of that game is gonna be that. It's gonna be something
I,
very
I
similar to
hope
that.
I will say I hope for the vision they want that the net code is good.
Yeah,
If
because I
it's
know.
not idea and shit,
Yeah,
it can be a runaway success.
yeah. Because look at Friday the 13th. It's not the greatest game, but yo, it got a fucking crowd.
People people love it.
Yeah, it
People
was
love
fun.
it.
I played it a little bit. It was fun. I just can't get into it. Like I have very low patience with certain games like that. So, like I'll play it. I'll be like, have fun. I'll play for like 2 or 3 games, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Move on. Next game.
Also, from what it says on the wiki for it,
Yeah.
it's made by Capcom, so it's not an American developer. So,
Capcom.
like before, I told you I was more skeptical because I thought it was a Western developer.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not. So, I'm willing to work with them on this one
So
and see
I
where it goes.
I could see it going into that bandwagon of being like the survival horror kind of game, as in Death by Night and the Friday
Yeah,
the
that's why
13th game and
they.
shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I could see in very sense, especially because those games are really popular right now. Can we get up down down jump scares again with that game?
Oh, yes.
I literally like my buddy Mike, aka Nutso. Shout out to him. I literally got him to watch Up Down Down because of the jump scares.
Oh,
Because
shit.
he laughed
Nice.
so hard at the jump scares. Cause I think it was Xavier and Tyler Breeze doing them. And
What were they playing? They were playing Friday the
they were
13th?
playing fuck, I forgot the name of the game. It's an old game. It came out a couple years ago. I can't really think about it.
Was it a first
Um,
person?
no, it was like one of those group games, but they also did like Five Nights at Freddy and things like that too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and
So they probably played Outlast or something.
Outlast. There it goes.
Ooh,
That's the game.
called it.
Outlast.
Yeah.
They did Outlast, and then they did Five Nights at Freddy and shit like that. And the reactions were hilarious. Like you got a really good laugh at it, especially him and Breeze playing with each other and shit. It was fun. But yeah, I could see that Resident Evil being that kind of style because I know there is plans for Resident Evil 7 or 8. It would be 8.
Yeah, the next game
Yeah,
will be 8.
because there is talks already of Resident Evil coming. I think it's been 2 years. I think it's gonna be the next console. I don't think it's gonna be on this console.
I think the next and last game before the next console is probably gonna be Resident Evil 3 remake.
Yeah, I didn't like that one that much.
You didn't like 3?
It was alright. I like Nemesis.
Yeah, I think most
I
people
wasn't
like
I
Nemesis.
wasn't crazy about that game though. Like I wasn't. I think 2, but then again, the way they did 2 and the way they remade it, I'd be probably more interested in just see what they do with it.
Yeah, me too. And because I know that game has mechanical differences from the original,
Yeah,
I want to see how they implement, or if they even do, how they implement Jill's dodge feature. That was a
yeah,
major part of like she had the whole combining ammunition to
yeah,
make more powerful ammunition. She had the custom guns. She
yeah,
had more custom guns because you can make like the spinning shotgun that was like pretty cool. It wasn't as strong as like a certain other one, but like there was a lot of they had the mine thrower that could like fly around and attach itself to enemies and be generally useless.
yeah,
um, but that game tried for some stuff
yeah.
and it didn't fail, which was good because obviously there's more Resident Evils after that. But I don't think it was like the breakout success that 2 was. But it has its fans because I like it, but yeah, I don't like it as much as 2
Yeah.
story wise. Story wise,
It's like because it's in the sense of like 5 and 3. Those are the ones that it has this fan base, but weren't the popular ones.
yeah, I know. Well, I don't know about 5.
I know
5
a lot of
have
people like 5.
5 had so much hate initially with the Africans thing. Oh, you
Yeah,
killing black people. Then it had the initial thing of, oh, it's co-op, so it's easy. Then it had the thing where Chef was a stupid AI companion if you
yeah,
don't play co-op. Then it had, oh man, this is really just a different RE4.
yeah,
Then you look at the stats of the game, and it's through the roof.
yeah,
It's one of the most bought Resident Evil games.
yeah.
And you know what's even sadder? Resident Evil 6, which is an
It's the
objectively
highest best
worse
selling one.
game, is one of the highest selling.
I think part two beat it out.
I'm not sure. I can't say if I know for sure. I'll
No,
look it up.
I think part two did beat it out.
Let's see.
The remake of part two. I think seven sold well too.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
But I think because I remember six being very popular. Like
Oh no.
no,
I thought no. I thought it said 12 million for Resident Evil 6. I was about to say, please don't tell me that shit. Oh my god. Don't say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see this. Oh my god, it is Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
It's no. All right. Whew. Oh. Okay. No. Uh in order of but see it takes into account, oh my god. All right. So hold on to your butt cheeks. They don't really have them separated. They have Capcom's top 10 best selling games of all time.
Okay.
And this is as of, oh, this is from May, but this is of this year, May of this year, right? Number one, Monster Hunter World, and at the time it was 11.9. It was 11.9. Monster Hunter has gone on to sell over 13 million.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 5 is the number one highest selling Resident Evil game. People hate it. 7.4 million people bought it.
Yeah.
And that's the number two highest selling Capcom game of everything. So people was bitching. People bought that game. Resident Evil 6 is right under it, 7.2.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude. And then it's not even close. The next one is Street Fighter 2,
Yeah.
6.3. Yo. Resident Evil 7. Okay, Resident Evil 7 is close, 6.1.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2, the 1998 game, is 4.96. So that's about 5. Monster Hunter Freedom 3,
Yeah.
which Freedom 3, I don't know if they came out in America. Freedom 3. Wow. 4.9.
Yeah.
That's number 7. Monster Hunter Cross, which did not come out in America because that's Generations in America is not Cross.
Yeah.
They both have different actual titles. Monster Hunter Cross is 4.3. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is 4.2, and Monster Hunter 4 is 4.1. So actually, Monster Hunter just fucking beats everything. But yeah, man, Resident Evil 5 and 6 are the top two.
So shame on yourselves.
It's really far.
Shame on yourselves.
Damn. But you gotta remember that was at the height of, and I want to say this was probably at the height of video games popularity. The Xbox 360 and PS3 probably sold more games than any other system so far.
Yeah.
Except for counting Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Because that's 13 million units, dude. That's like approaching Grand Theft for like one system. That's a lot. It's a lot.
You wanna know something? You wanna know one number I would like to see?
Mm-hmm.
And this would be probably more on GameStop and maybe any other used games thing. As much as Resident Evil 6 sold, I want to see how much people sold it back the next week.
I could imagine.
Because I'll tell you this one. I think that was one of the most games we had as a used game within the 3 weeks that it came out.
Okay.
When I worked in a store, like
Okay.
that shit that we had so many cases of Resident Evil 6 that we had to put half of them in the side because it took all the space.
I'll put
That was during the time when they put all the used cases up on the shelves.
Let's see. Okay. I was trying to get a comparison so you can get a feel for what those games sold, and you compare it to now, because they don't really have a list for Xbox 360 going into
Yeah,
2019. I think the latest one is 2017. They have.
yeah, and everything is physical too. They don't go digital. They don't count digital either.
Yeah, back then they did not.
No, they still don't count digital. Digital, they'll have it separate.
Some games they count it. Unfortunately, they'll try to sneak that in there,
Most of them, they'll say like physical copy only.
but
By
unfortunately the
sales.
list doesn't delineate.
Yep, yep.
But like GTA 5 was 17.
Yeah. Well,
Monster
GTA
Hunter.
is still fucking selling.
No, but that was out of like 2000 or something. Like that was like 2016
Man,
or something.
GTA 5 has not left the top 10 in the last like 6 years.
Yeah, yeah, I could imagine that.
That game has not moved. Like it moved in that top 10, but it has not left that top 10 in the last probably
That's
6-7 years.
Okay. I'll give you a comparison. And this is weird.
Yeah.
Connect Adventures is the number one highest selling video game
Yeah,
of the
because it was
360
like 2 cents.
of the 360 because it it technically sold 21.78 million copies.
Yeah.
But we're gonna skip. We're gonna go to GTA, which is 16.7. So
Yeah.
for comparison, next is Modern Warfare 3, which is 14.72.
Yeah.
So for comparison's sake, already Monster Hunter is almost up to that Call of Duty 3. Like,
Yeah.
dude, this banana. I would have never thought in a million years you would ever hear a Monster Hunter game selling that much.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yeah, it's a popular game. I think once it went on PS4, it became a name now. I think it had to go on that main console to get that recognition, though. Even though the game probably was great way before it, but it needed that big system game to really signify itself as a game kind of thing.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
It was being held out of people's hands
exactly.
by being on Nintendo
Exactly.
because they. I don't know. If,
And
well, anybody
PSP.
listening,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's public knowledge anymore because it was a while ago. This was back in the Wii, but Nintendo had secured an exclusivity deal back then
Yeah.
for the Monster Hunter games for 3 games. That's why they had literally Monster Hunter 3. Then they had the American, the portable versions of the game,
Yeah.
which was 4, 4U, and Generations, and they were all locked exclusively to Nintendo consoles. And then they made the Switch version of the game, and I think that was the last game in the deal
Yeah.
because there was no current Monster Hunter currently being made for that game for that system.
Well, is there
Because
one on
there
the
were
Switch?
rumors about World, but I wouldn't want to play that unless I knew that they were taking the time to iron out the details,
Yeah.
the problems that World still has, even on these consoles. Because I'll be honest with you, the loading times can be a bit unbearable sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know the PC version is basically the ultimate way to play the game.
Okay.
So I would not want it to be on the Switch unless they gave it their best effort to eliminate that problem. Because I can see people getting pissed off
Yeah.
having to load forever, and then having any type of performance issues on top of that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hearing about how MK11 on the Switch is not performed well.
Yeah.
Hearing about how a lot of really high profile games that they released that were ports
Yeah.
that don't it started to remind me of the Wii.
Yeah. You know, one that surprised me was Skyrim.
Yeah, but that's like a 360 game.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Witcher's
legit,
coming out. We're gonna see how well that go. That.
I heard it's not good. I heard
Yeah.
The Witcher 3,
Yeah.
like early report, like it's not as good as it could be, but it doesn't look bad. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
But there's another recent game, even Bloodstain,
Yeah.
not graphically intensive, does not perform as well on the Switch.
Oh, okay.
That made me sad. I heard it has hitches on PS4, which is like, what? Get the fuck out of here. So, like, I'm starting to feel some type of way about these ports going to Switch. I don't want people porting bad stuff to that system.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. I get that you want to put all games in everybody's hands. don't do that to people.
Not every game needs a freaking another release. I seriously don't.
And it's just not a bad port, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm actually looking forward to Link's Awakening. That's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
oh yeah, that should be awesome.
I'm on jury duty that week too, so I'm actually excited because I get to sit down and actually play it in the fucking court.
Good.
It comes out the same week I'm on jury duty. I'm like, yes.
Nice. Some time to relax.
Exactly, and it gives me days that I don't have to go to work. I could just go and sleep.
Tranquilo.
'Cause I get paid full for jury duty. I don't mind doing it. I really do not mind jury duty.
I don't mind it if it lasts 2 weeks or less.
Yeah.
If it lasts a month, I don't know how I would feel, man. Have you ever been called for a big case?
Yeah, the longest I stood was about a month.
How'd you find that? Was that
It wasn't
annoying?
bad. It wasn't bad because my job pays, so I get paid no matter what of my regular paycheck. So I'm not losing out on anything.
No, but how was your experience? Like, I don't.
I did. I don't think I
to
could.
me.
Yeah, I don't think I could say it on live.
Oh no, that's right.
Yeah, because
right.
it was a attempted murder case and shit.
Right. That's
But
right.
yeah, it was about a month long. Pretty much, it was a lot of things going on. It was attempted murder. They had like a crackhead witness and things like that. It was a lot of things.
It was lit, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
You was sitting there, and motherfucker was like, and I saw he was on a corner.
Yeah.
And
So the funniest shit was one thing I'll say is the funniest shit was there's a chicken place, famous chicken place in Harlem, probably a little further up than you. I don't know the name of it, but I know the cook was there and he was one of the witnesses of this place. So he pretty much was telling, oh, this is the time when they're ready there and shit like that. Anyway. While during the time of the trial, I would watch Food Network, and he was on Food Network, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's the guy that's the bench."
it wasn't Bobby Flay, was it?
Nah, it was just they were talking about his restaurant. It's in Harlem. It was famous for its fried chicken and shit. Not Sylvia's. It's another place.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it, but it's more in the deeper region. It's further than where you're at.
Further up.
Yeah.
Okay. For sure.
Yeah. So it happened further up, like going around like Polo Grounds area, kind of.
Understand. I got you.
Yeah. So yeah. So I really don't mind it though. I really don't. I find it actually really interesting. So it's like, all right, I'll stay. Whatever.
I can imagine it would be even more relaxing for the parts where you have break when you have your Switch.
Yeah. Exactly. I have my Switch. I play my game. Yo, last time I had it, I had Skyrim. I was playing Skyrim. That's when I actually finished Skyrim.
That makes it even better. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was times we had long ass waits, and I was like, "Fuck it, play it."
Mm-hmm.
So my battery dies. The new system comes out then in the month.
I saw a hands-on.
Yeah.
If you want to check it out, CNET.
Okay.
They did one. There's a guy. He's usually on the Giant Bombcast. His name is Jeff Bacalar, and he works for it. And he gave a pretty comprehensive. It's very short, but it's to the point.
Yeah.
Why would you want this? If these, and he basically goes through, if these changes are things that appeal to you, you should get this.
Yeah.
If you are a family that already has a Switch and you have children, and you know when is the house Switch, yes, you should get this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's a cheap alternative. It seems to be made more durable. He was showing off the feel of it.
Yeah.
It has like a tactile, almost grit to it.
Okay.
Where it's not like smooth like regular plastic, or it's like a phone case almost.
Okay.
Certain phone cases where they have like, it has a texture to it.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It feels different. It's very, very light, like much lighter than the Switch already is, which he said it surprised him.
I'm actually considering it because I get tired of fucking holding the Switch. The Switch is pretty heavy for a handheld. Like after a while, you holding it, that shit like it cramps your hands. So
it's not ergonomically correct for your hand too. And they were mentioning that. Did you see the new thing about the there was news about a patent for new controllers?
Yeah, the bent controllers. Yeah, Nintendo has a habit of doing that all the time. Though they make random controllers and they never see the light of day, even though they might be a good idea.
Oh, I got you. I hope they do something, because I'll be honest, for the past few systems, and I'm counting from the Wii U to the Wii U, 3DS to the Switch ergonomically for holding the console,
Yeah.
not great.
No.
Switch was it didn't hurt my hands as much. 3DS, oh, that hurt
Yeah.
my hands. It
Yeah.
really did. Like
Yeah.
for some reason the edges are round, but it
Yeah.
felt like I was holding glass in my hands after a while.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Especially if they have like long game sessions kind of thing.
Now Monster
That
Hunter.
yeah, that's my thing with the Switch. Like if I have a long game session and shit like that, that shit's heavy after a while. Like it has weight to it. So if the other one is like lighter, is like say for instance as light as like a 3DS, but is like almost as size as a Switch, I might consider getting it. Just the fact that I'll have one just to go and leave one at home.
The one that interests me the most color wise is like the gunmetal one. It's
The
like a
gray,
dark gray. Yeah,
yeah.
that
That
looks
one,
pretty cool.
that one looks cool. The turquoise one is not that bad. I'll wait till there's more colors though.
I think in Japan that's the most popular color,
Yeah,
turquoise.
I like a
Um,
red, like a
but it
nice
looks good. And
red
then
red.
also I think that's gonna have a long. I'm not sure if it's gonna have that crazy long battery life though.
Yeah, and it has a better battery life than the original one.
But is it gonna have real long one like that
It's
new?
it's supposed to go 5 to 6 hours.
Okay, because that new one is 9, and I'm like that's crazy for a handheld.
That's
What?
the new one's 9.
The new one with the same with a different box.
Yeah,
It's
it's
9 hours.
Shit, mine's only last 3. So
Yeah, that's the one they
that's a
say
big
is
difference right
bananas.
there.
Yeah.
I
So
might have to trade mines in and get a fucking new one.
did you know that you hear about the stories that if you called Nintendo customer service like right when it was announced and was on store shelves, you could
Yeah,
have got it replaced by a customer service rep,
I should have
and
done that.
Nintendo sent a memo, an internal memo to stop it. That's crazy. I love that
Wow.
that happened.
I should have done that shit. I should have honestly. I should have. You know what? I had to see when my insurance expire.
Got you.
And go fucking. Hey, I'm returning this shit. Give me a new
New
one.
one. Give me
Yeah,
that new juice.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Next week
Anything
I'll
else,
have
Mark?
Borderlands 3. I'll do a little review of
Oh
Borderlands 3. I'll try to
yeah.
get more into the game, but I did pick it up. You can follow me on this channel, and I'll probably be doing more live streams of Borderlands 3 once I finish Yakuza 0, which I'm very
Nice.
close to finishing.
Nice. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding that game because of the people involved in the company Gearbox.
Yeah.
But what I have to say to that is support game development.
Yep.
Those guys who worked on that game did nothing wrong.
Yep.
Don't I saw mad people saying, I'm not gonna buy this game because of Randy Pitchford. I'm not gonna buy this game because of 2K.
Oh shit.
Don't punish the people that sat in those offices and literally put years of their lives on the line to make the game. Don't
Your
do that. It's not their fault.
your $60 is not that big to infect your job.
But it's just like don't hurt their pockets
Yeah.
or put their company on blast for the work that they put into that game
Yeah.
because some asshole doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta be smarter than that. You
Yeah,
have to
it's
be.
true. It's true.
So
Enjoy the game.
like on one hand, people be like, "Yo, man, I don't want my game devs crunching." Well, they just worked on a game for you, and now you're gonna say "fuck you" because of their boss.
Yeah.
But that ain't got nothing to do with him. He was sitting in the office doing all the man hours that you were protesting that you don't want him to do. You care about his well-being, right? Well, feed his family.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and feed his family.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You want to make your voice heard. Complain to Gearbox directly about Randy Pitchford,
Yeah.
or complain to 2K about their practices where they intimidate people for leaking shit.
Yeah.
Don't sit there on social media trying to be a champion and a hero, talking about I'm going to boycott this game, and Randy Pitchford's going to light up $100 bill and smoke it
Yep.
because he doesn't give a shit.
And you should not be leaking shit anyway.
Yeah, this is true. And the way they do it, the way they did it, I hear there's a little bit of people might be on the wrong side of history when it comes to that one. It's like that guy was getting something from somewhere,
Yeah.
and they was trying to find out. I'm sorry, you getting unsolicited information about a product that's not out. I don't know if I can fuck with you
Yeah. Exactly.
and be like, yeah, I'm a ride with my man's right here who was getting stolen information.
Yeah.
What? Nah. You deserve to get a knock on the door and be like, "Yo, where you get that information from, son?"
Exactly.
That's what I'm just saying.
Slap.
I'm just saying. Stop stealing people's shit.
No stealing.
Like, we just talked about emulators. If Nintendo rolled up to my crib and was like, "Yo, I heard you talking about emulators, dog. We got recorded evidence. You talking about emulators, dog.
Flush it
What's
down the toilet.
good? Well, they outside. Yo, we gotta go. All right, we gotta cut this podcast short.
Throw that PC down the toilet.
The hard drive.
Mario
You
comes
know,
into your house with a fucking plunger.
Oh my god, why's my plunger got an M on it?
He fucking knock on your door like, oh shit, you bigger than I thought. Oh damn.
It's
Fuck.
the actual voice actor.
Yeah.
It's me,
Mario.
Charles Martinet. It's Mario. What's up, motherfucker? I hear you been stealing my shit, taking food out of my family's mouth. Ha ha.
Oh damn.
Sleep with the fishes, motherfucker.
He throw a fucking blue shell at your head.
That's
it. It's over.
God.
That's it. He steals
right,
all your
so-
shit. And then he
so-
teabags you and leaves.
If you take anything away from this episode of the It Gets Better, I Swear podcast, is don't be upset when you steal from Mario. He comes to collect.
He gonna come to collect.
He wants his money. Them coins, they real to him.
Yep.
So remember that shit. All right, Mark,
Yeah,
you got anything
man.
else?
That is it. That's all I got, man.
All right, so thank you for listening to another episode of the It Gets Better, I Swear podcast. Make sure you follow us on all of our places on the internet. We are on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and we have a Facebook group.
Yep.
Make sure you check out the SoundCloud where all of these go. Make sure you check out the YouTube where the episode also goes. And make sure you check out the Tumblr and the WordPress because you'll find these episodes there as well. That's it. Where you at, Mark?
All right, you can follow me on this channel. We do right now. We're doing Yakuza 0 and Borderlands 3. I have a schedule up for this week later on today. Follow us on SoundCloud, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and all Mark with the Mic, and follow our Facebook book of the Wrestling Babble and Red Cycle Inc. We'll be running the live polls during WWE Clash of Champions tonight, so you can vote who wins and loses and be part of the conversation. Always remember, follow the Jinkies
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those sandwiches.
and the chair. Hit 'em
Oh,
with it.
to the head? Don't do it.
Don't do it. They're gonna be like, no, you can't do that. Like,
They gonna
motherfucker, I'm
they'll
not on
take you off
TV. I hit him in the head if I want.
He told me to do it. He paid me to hit him.
Oh yes, and Disney Plus has all Disney Afternoon. So
Do it. Watch it. Also, shout outs to Kana Chan TV. Oscar's amazing.
yes,
Watch
I
her.
love
Watch her
her.
play. Watch her play the flute. Excuse me, the recorder.
She did the bongo game today. She
jeez,
sucked
I
really
saw
bad
it.
at it, but it was great. She's funny. I love Oscar.
Goodness. Yeah, Oscar's
Support
amazing. Kana Chan TV, y'all.
Yes,
Check it out.
Put the link up.
Yep.
Peace out. Laters.
Peace.